We're talking about all the bombshells from Strike Time, plus what other clues can I get from Khasino about the upcoming characters? All that and more coming up on your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update, guys. Let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. Oh yeah, baby. The news is here. We have an official response to the Scopely purchase. We got a lot of stuff to talk about from that Strike Time video and Khasino. More of these clues I'm going to try to get out of you at the end of this video. But yes, how have you been, my friend? I know you recently got back from a long trip.
Yeah, it's about a week long, but yeah, been good. It was just my brother's wedding, so.
All right. I know you wanted to rant about something, so have at it, brother.
All right. Yeah, let's get this out of the way. It's really a question for you.
Yes.
Which is, why are you getting credit for inventing Q&A videos?
I have no idea, but
Okay.
it is what it is.
Because everyone has been asked. I've been asked like 30 times. I started a new Ask Khasino YouTube series, and it's the same as Mailbag Monday. Actually, it's a slightly different because you have to ask it in a Discord channel that I did for that. I don't include.
That's what I do too.
Twitter. Right. But that's everything. But so okay. You've been getting credit. Everyone's like, oh, you're just ripping off Valley's idea. Like there weren't 9,000 Q&A videos before you started Mailbag Monday. It's driving me crazy. I don't understand why everyone thinks you came up with this.
Well, it's
totally a copycat of your idea.
It's Ask Khasino instead of Ask Valley, so it's different.
I mean, yes. You saw that? That was in my video.
That's why I said that. All right. But any other rants that you wanted, anything upsetting you before we get into the news of Marvel Strike Force?
Yeah, plenty of Marvel Strike Force things, but I think they're on the list. So
all right, we got a long list, guys. All right, before we get into it, LootCakes, a couple more days left for that offer, guys. So click on that link and you can join the ValleyFlyin Alliance there. And BlueStacks, emulator of choice. The bugs are fixed. It is working good again, and it looks beautiful in 60 frames per second. But first thing, I guess let's talk about this offer that we're looking at right here, the Red Star Ultimate Pack. And for those of you that don't know, this was out for maybe an hour and a half or so, maybe a little longer, but this was for 15 Red Star orbs and a chance to earn a 7-star promotion for your favorite characters. 2 of them, in fact. Oh, actually, two of the 6-star promotions on the thing. I guess the chance to earn that is on all of the orbs. But yeah, what did you think of this offer? Did you see this in real time or did you see this after the fact?
No, I think I was either stuck at a wedding rehearsal or that was the day of the wedding. I think that was on Friday, which means I was doing the rehearsal. But yeah, by the time I got out of that and actually checked my phone, I was like, oh, please still be available, and it was gone.
Yeah. It was gone. Some people got it, and there was an official response to this, guys, because I guess this was another one of the oopsies from FoxNext. Super duper, guys. Erroneous Red Star offer. This was the response, and I'm reading it for all the people that are listening on the podcast. All right, today there was an offer purchasable in the game that incorrectly included 10 Gold Star promotion credits from the Elite store instead of the intended 10 silver promotion credits. Upon discovery, the erroneous offer was promptly removed from the store. So that is what happened. Now this is what we're getting for this, guys. In keeping with our policy of evaluating errors and offers on an individual basis and to ensure the overall health and balance of the game, we decided to grant 10 gold promotion credits to a future daily calendar for all players that didn't purchase the offer. The offer that was originally intended will be made available in the coming days. Players who purchased the incorrect offer will receive 10 silver star promotions as originally intended, and we plan for more communication as these actions take place early next week. Good response, I think. What is your reaction to this? I don't know what they could have done differently.
It's great. So there's a couple things I'll touch on with this, but I mean, I think this is my favorite of their mistakes. Like of all the things they've messed up,
I don't know.
Favorite?
That snap got some pretty good rewards.
We did.
That one was pretty good.
For snap, but I don't know if it compares to 2 selective 6 red stars of your choice.
Sort of selective, because you already have to have that character at 5 stars, right?
True.
So you had to previously get lucky on the 5 stars for one of those characters. But
true, but theoretically, if you keep saving up, sooner or later you can take any character to 5. So
theoretically, yes, that is true.
I mean, it's pretty common for. I know plenty of people who selectively take people to 4. So while it would take literally 6 times as long to take someone to 5, people are already taking people to 4. So it's not that much of a stretch. And
all right.
You're kind of getting double value out of it because what it would take to save up to take them from 4 to 5, you now know you can immediately get them to 6. So it's a little bit easier to justify going for it. But no, I mean, and so if you want to understand what we're talking about, so a lot of people don't know this, so I try to mention this anytime we talk about this. In the Red Star Elite store, you can selectively promote characters with promotion credits, but you can only selectively promote them 1 Red Star level above what you have them at. So I've heard people saying like, oh, I've been waiting around for 4 Red Star Scientist Supreme like forever. It just never shows up in my shop. I've been waiting 6 months already. Like, oh, really? What Red Star is your Scientist Supreme? Like,
1.
Oh, she doesn't have any right now.
Oh, none.
Yeah.
Jeez, even worse.
Yeah, 1, none, whatever. And it's like, well, that's why you're not seeing the 4, because you will never see the 4. If you have it at 1, you're only going to see 2. If you have it at 2, you're only going to see 3, etc. So
yeah, I apologize. I haven't mentioned that earlier. I thought that was common knowledge. So, yeah.
I assume that most people know that, but every time I mention it, there's at least a couple people who like, oh, that makes sense. Like, there's always a few people click. So hey, if that's you, glad we were able to get you on board with that.
Yes.
I'm sure there's plenty of people who have not been watching these videos and have no idea still. But so you have to already have a character at 5 red star to selectively promote them to 6 with the 5 gold promotion credits. Another thing people don't realize is some people are like, oh, maybe it's worth saving to selectively promote someone to 7. As of right now, you can't selectively promote someone to 7. Once you get them to 6, that's it. They don't show up in the Elite store as a 7. You would have to open an orb and get lucky.
That is something I did not know. I mean, maybe I did at one time when it first came out and I read that somewhere, but I have since forgotten that and since learned it again. So cool.
No, it's actually annoying. Not only can you not get them as 7, but they still take up a spot in the Elite store. And what I mean by that is you just have a blank spot.
Oh, that is so stupid. That is so dumb. What?
I have literally before seen only because I have a pretty high number of 6s. I have like 12 or 13 6s at this point.
Jeez.
I've looked in my Elite store and only had a top row.
That's so dumb. That is so dumb. FoxNext.
I agree. It's very dumb.
Or Scopely, whatever.
Yeah, well, pretty sure this decision was FoxNext, but
I'm talking now, present tense.
Right.
The people that will be changing.
Scopely be aware that
hopefully.
It's dumb.
Yes.
Right. Scopely, please correct FoxNext, big dumb. But so anyway, moving on from like that to how happy I am with the compensation. So several people have said several things. I have a pretty concrete opinion on this. But so the first thing was, plenty of people looked at it and were like, why don't they just relist the offer, right? That'd be the easiest thing. Just relist the offer, and then anyone who wants to buy it can buy it. Problem solved.
Uh-huh.
And we don't know exactly why they haven't, but I'm pretty sure that the reason they haven't is because they're being considerate of the free-to-play players, because putting a $50 offer that gives that much power creates a huge gap between spending players and free-to-play players.
Yeah.
So I think that the solution they went with is much more conscientious of the free-to-play players, and I really like it. Several people have responded to that and been like, wow, I don't think you know FoxNext. They never do anything nice for the free-to-play players. Or at least that's what they used to say until it got announced that another company's taking over. And now they're like, this new company will never be anywhere near as nice to the free-to-play players. But anyway.
Khasino shaking that salt tonight, baby.
A little bit. I hear too much silliness. Don't fall into these traps, guys. But anyway, I'm actually in a decent mood tonight. But so... that's the first thing is I think they're being considerate of the free-to-play players, and I support that. So
yes, good, like that. Good. Even playing field.
Having said that, I like that they're giving it to everyone, but there's a much smaller group of people that I do think they are being inconsiderate of, and I actually really think that they need to take small action on this matter and actually issue a statement. And what I'm talking about is this. So the people who actually bought the offer at first were like, oh, we get this before it's gone. We'll be the lucky few that actually have this. And then when they find out it's being given to everyone, people are like, well, I wouldn't have paid $50 if I knew that everyone was going to get that. I just bought it for the gold promo credits.
Yeah.
Now that we're getting those for free, I'm out $50. I never would have paid $50 for the rest of the stuff.
Yes. I would agree. That is a huge price to pay for some silver promotion credits.
You're getting 10 silver promotion credits and 15 red star orbs, which normally you get 14 red star orbs for that amount of money. So it was an above average deal.
But they're still not good. Don't buy red stars, guys.
Exactly. They're still not a good value. So anyone who then wanted it refunded, if you bought it for the gold promo credits and have now learned you will otherwise get those for free, I totally understand refunding it. I think those people should absolutely be entitled to a refund.
Agreed.
Having said that, a lot of people have written in as support and been like, hey, can you refund me? And support's like, nope, sorry. And immediately people are like, I knew it! FoxNext, biggest scammers out there, losing their mind again. Now, to be fair, that's not the right response, and it's not what FoxNext should be saying. But again, I'm like 90% sure here. As far as I know, mobile games can't issue refunds on iOS. And therefore, if mobile games themselves can't issue refunds on one of the platforms, they just don't issue refunds on any of the platforms. And what you do is you get the refund from Apple or from Google Play or whatever it is. So I'm pretty sure you're supposed to refund it yourself, and that's how you get a refund. However, another thing that makes this a little bit weird is FoxNext can ban people for refunding.
Oh my goodness.
Because when you refund, you get to keep the items. So technically you're abusing the system by buying and then refunding. So they ban for refunds. That said, officially their policy is that they ban for excessive refunds. So if this was you and you bought this one thing and you've not refunded other stuff and you refund this one thing, I wouldn't really be worried about getting banned. If you have a habit of refunding things for one thing or another, and this is going to be like your 4th or 5th refund, I would be concerned. I don't think they should ban anyone for this. Technically, they could. I think they need to issue a statement and be like, we're not going to ban anyone for refunding this.
Now, hold on. You said their official statement. Is this, you're talking Fox, something's put out by FoxNext that this is what their policy is?
Yeah, their terms of service. Their terms of service.
Okay, awesome. I haven't read their customers terms of service. I just click on it and
if it's not in their terms of service, it's something that their support has been quoted as saying.
Okay.
But as far as I know, their support bans for excessive refunds. So if you've never refunded anything before and you really feel entitled to a refund, again, technically you are receiving what you paid for. You still got 15 normal red star orbs. You probably opened them. Who knows what you got? Obviously, if you had bad luck with them, I can see you then wanting to refund, whatever. But anyway, I think the right thing to do for FoxNext here is to come out and say, we are not going to ban anyone for refunding this since we, kind of accidentally baited people into buying this.
Agreed.
So that's where I'm at. But otherwise, I think for people outside of that super small group of people that bought it, FoxNext's solution was wonderful and it's great for everyone. And I'm pretty happy that they messed this up.
I am as well. Keep up with these bugs when you get transferred to Scopely. I love these. All right, I guess the next question I have to ask, because I think that is on the mind of the majority of the player base. What are the no-brainer characters that you need to invest in to take them from 5 stars to 6 stars if you have this character at 5 stars already? What are the characters like automatic? Boom.
So I was going to make this a YouTube video. But that's okay. I'll share a few of the top picks here.
Just give a couple. Just give a few. Who are some no-brainers?
All right. So I'll just throw in the top 5 here. Phoenix, Mr. Sinister, Captain Marvel, Hela, and Ghost Rider are my top 5 there.
I understand the first 3. Explain the Hela and Ghost Rider a little bit to me.
Well, so Hela does a tremendous amount of damage. She does a lot of bleeds. She needs focus to be able to spread all those debuffs.
Okay.
It's going to increase Greg's stats, if I'm not mistaken, but it might not. I don't.
It seems like it would. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
But so she's a damage dealer, so she benefits tremendously from the damage, and then she also benefits from having the extra health because every time Greg dies, she's healing based on a percentage of her max health. So she's getting the double benefit of being tankier, healing for more, and dealing more damage.
Sweet. All right. That does make sense. What about the Ghost Rider one? That one, a little, not what I would expect, I guess.
Same kind of thing. He does a tremendous amount of damage.
Okay.
And not only that, but his passive constantly proccing tons of damage. So right off the bat, making his bleeds do more, making his ultimate, which does a huge nuke, do more. He benefits so much from the damage, the bleeds, you name it.
I like it.
He benefits from having a giant health pool, and his passive, he gives Supernatural a ton of health. So it's a good amount of health to increase the base of, to multiply by his passive. And then same thing with the ultimate. He gets a preposterous amount of drain on the ultimate, so it just allows him to heal such a giant amount of his already giant health bar. So characters that benefit from being tankier, benefit from doing more damage, benefit from the focus, and benefit from their damage increasing the amount they heal, and also increasing the amount of health that they have to heal, which means that, you know, they can survive more shots and still be able to heal that big amount up. That's like the sweet spot for just getting the most possible benefit from these red stars.
I like it. I like it. So guys, if you don't have one of those 5 characters, there's gonna be 5 more in Khasino's video. So check that out on his channel, and the links to his channel are down below, guys. All right, moving on though, guys. We had a big video. Strike Time number 7 came out. Boy, there was a lot of bombshells that got dropped by this video. Let's start with the first one, Mr. Fantastic, and this one actually just happened in game right before we started recording this. Mr. Fantastic moving to Nexus 5-9 and Mr. Torch, Human Torch, going to Arena. What is your reaction to this? Why the switch? Why not just bring Fantastic to Nexus right away and then Human Torch to Arena later? Why the switch? Why do you think this happened?
Well, so Human Torch was already on Nexus.
Yes. So why move him to Arena? What? I don't understand this, but I'm glad that the Fantastic Four is farmable.
I am glad the Fantastic Four is farmable as well. But so the alternative would have been leave Torch in Nexus and put Mr. Fantastic in Arena. Yes. And I don't know their reasoning. I would like to believe that it's because Human Torch is more popular, and where getting to Nexus 5-9 takes a little bit of time as a new player. As soon as you unlock Arena, you can start farming Arena characters. So just because I think Human Torch might be more popular, they want to make him easier. And then the other reason, and again, the thing making me doubt what I'm about to say the most is that it's super considerate of the players. But Mr. Fantastic is a controller and mainly just does controlling effects like land a stun, remove defense up, whereas Human Torch needs the raw numbers. He needs to do that damage. From a tactical perspective, much better. So making Torch a little bit easier to reliably farm means you're going to have a slightly stronger Torch if you're farming them all the same amount. So yeah, it's a more player-friendly decision. So I like it. Because it's a more player-friendly decision, it makes me wonder why they've done it. But it's a very player-friendly decision. So
it is. I agree.
This is one of those things where I'm like, I don't question it. If that's what they've done, awesome.
Good? Why are you guys doing something good? What's happening later?
Yeah, I'm almost afraid to ask because it might make them be like,
what does this mean?
Wait, was that too nice? Should we not have done that? Like, I don't want to ask.
All right. All right, so you can take off your tinfoil hat now. I guess the bigger news from this announcement, the Fantastic Four is pretty much fully farmable. We don't have Namor, Invisible Woman. You could kind of unlock her with all the Sinister Six. So the 4 characters pretty much farmable now. What does this mean for the game? What does this mean for Arena War Offense? Excuse me, not Arena War Offense.
Well, the Fantastic Four, one of the top War Offense teams in the game. Like, they're, in my opinion, easily top 3. A strong Fantastic Four does pretty well into Coulson, does pretty well into the Asgardians, does pretty well into Ultron teams. They're just strong. So should mean that people have some more options to combat a lot of the strong new defenses that have been coming out.
Nice. Yeah, I think this is a good option for free-to-play players. Having such a good team farmable for them to counter some of these more defensive war teams is a good thing. Other thing that was announced, guys, in this video, Nexus. Everybody's been waiting for this, and I was really surprised by this. The rumors that I've been hearing is they're not going to do Nexus. There's no way to monetize this. It's just development costs. There's no way to get money from this. They're not going to do it. So this was kind of a surprise to me, hearing that they are releasing Nexus sometime soon. What is your reaction to Nexus coming soon?
So I hadn't heard like they were never going to do it. I had been hearing that the reason they weren't in a huge rush to do it was because it was going to take some time and effort and not earn them much money. But so I think this could mean one of two things. Either just, you know, they've obviously made a bit of a commitment to try to be better to the players. I think they've realized that there's been a bit of a more uptight, stressed out atmosphere going on. I think, you know, on the Reddit and in the global chat and stuff, people are just a little bit more stressed lately. So I think that it's possible that this is part of a, you know, an overarching campaign that they're doing. Like, let's be nice to the players for a bit before we try to figure out new ways to milk them.
Before Scopely takes over, let's just make everything good.
However, another more cynical thoughts here. This is
Salt's
purely theoretical. No proof of this whatsoever. So don't panic. But just in you know, I try to look at.
I'm gonna start to
sides.
panic now that you just said that.
Damn it. But no, I like to clarify because people are always like, is Khasino trying to tell us something? So I want to be very clear.
This is not a clue. Okay, this is not a clue. Okay.
Not a clue. Just
got it.
Going with like, well, let's be cynical here. Maybe they finally found like the right balance tuning where they're like, all right, good. This is really, really hard, and people are gonna have to play it a lot. And maybe they're gonna put like a really desirable character on like the final node of Chapter 9. And be like, all right, good luck, and let's watch all the whales sprint to try to get that character first, and something like that.
Well, they do have a big backlog, so that wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, some kind of goal to shoot for to make this more playable.
Right, if they're like, Red Skull's going to be super good now, and he's going on Nexus 9.9, and yeah, it's going to be crazy, you know, to get there is going to be like Ultimate 7 level difficulty, but harder. And good luck. Let the whales all, you know, trip over each other trying to get it done first, something like that. But
I like it. I like it. I think it's a good thing. I mean, we definitely need more spaces for characters to be farmable. We definitely need more of these the backlog to be updated, so we can start to farm some of these older characters.
If I'm not mistaken, and I could be, didn't they say like more campaigns? Like, didn't it sound like they were going to expand on Cosmic and Mystic and stuff too, or am I misremembering that?
You might be right. They might have said campaigns, and I interpreted that as Nexus, but it could be just be some other campaigns. So maybe. They also mentioned new challenge tiers. I see no downside for this. We need more resources. This will help us get more resources, and hopefully our characters are strong enough. The pillars that have been playing for a while to just beat some of these right away and just get more resources straight up.
Yep. I'm looking forward to these, but I don't know if anyone remembers, this was like a while back, but there was like a random day, like, I don't remember how many, let's say like 8-9 months ago. I only remember because there was someone that used to message me every day, and they were pretty strong, and they put out the new challenge tier. I think this one was for the Blitz and raid recharges, and at that time, it was like an extra like 5 of each, so it wasn't like a crazy reward to have now. Again, that's entirely possible they've changed that. But back then, me too. Back then, it was insanely difficult. Like, we just got absolutely wrecked. Like, we couldn't even dream of standing a chance. You were lucky if you could drop one character, and then you just got annihilated.
You said 8 or 9 months ago. What level cap was this at?
I don't remember. This was a while back. Again, I highly doubt it's unchanged. Like, I'm sure they will have retuned it, so I don't think it really matters. But I do remember that they at least kind of already had it designed, and I think they've been sitting on new challenge tiers for a while and just waiting for like the right time to.
Yeah, I mean they've been in data mines forever, like up to level 85 and stuff. So. Yep.
So which characters it has, you know, I think they've been waiting a while. So
Black
I think
Bolt,
it's about time that we
Mordo, Hand Century, all the good ones.
I don't think I'll be surprised if we see Black Bolt in the challenges, but.
I would too. All right. One other thing they mentioned, Dark Dimensions 3. It's been teased for a while. They mentioned late January, early February as our target for this. Any panic farming about this? Have you seen anything different about the rewards that we talked about in the data mines? What any news for Dark Dimension 3?
No, I think it's again, it's all subject to change. Like the fact that we've only seen data mines means it's still subject to change. Someone pointed out something that I did find interesting, which was we were making a big deal about like how the Dark Dimension 3 rewards were technically the most generous rewards for anything in the game thus far. But now, while they're still slightly better, like an offer mishap has given rewards comparable to Dark Dimension 3. So I hope that's a bit of a fire.
This is gonna come up a lot. This is gonna come up a lot. I know.
Yeah, I hope they decide to be a bit more generous with the Dark Dimension 3 rewards, which I always thought they could be. But again, I really want a trophy character more than some red star promotions. And I do think again you should at the very least get a single, at the minimum, a 7 red stars. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I haven't seen anything new about the rewards, and I'm not. Some people are already panicking and plotting and figuring out who to get to gear tier 14, but I've always been a big believer in like, let's wait until it's actually something we have to deal with. And it's because so much of the game changes so quickly. And so like, I don't think this will be a factor, but if they introduce ISO 8 before it and somehow ISO 8, and I don't think this will happen. But if ISO 8 ends up being some kind of thing where it's like, oh, I got ISO 8 that's specific to one character or one type of character and it's really good, that might change who I'd want to power up. And again, like, I never would have thought I needed to power up any Spider-Verse characters until they announced Symbiote Spider-Man, who now, like, kind of retcons that entire team into being worth powering up. So,
yeah,
you know, but, and it's part of it is, yeah, it's just I'm just gonna keep doing what I've already been doing. With
are you taking
the resources?
Are you taking anybody up to gear 13 right now? Or are you holding everybody at 12?
I'm actually being a lot more selective with who I take to gear tier 13 because it's materials I need to gear tier 14.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of kicking myself. I mean, I had no way of knowing, but I'm definitely gonna be kind of late into Dark Dimension 3 because I have a lot of gear tier 13 characters at this point, and when that was the max, I was like, let me get as many people to gear tier 13 as possible so that I have teams ready to start working.
But now it's kind of putting you behind.
Right. Well, but again, the bigger issue is like I still have good amounts of some resources, but it's all random. We don't have any way of focusing on specific mini uniques or specific orange items. So
yeah, even farming that stuff is totally random.
Right. So now I'm like, I don't really want to spend on anyone because if I end up needing, say, mutant items, like I have no idea when I'm going to see the specific mutant mini uniques I need again. So yeah, just I'm kind of just keeping everyone at like gear tier 12 now. Yeah,
I've been taking everybody up to 12 as soon as I heard that the requirements were gear tier 14 just because of limited resources. So hopefully that gives me selection. I haven't been opening my orange orbs either or my orange elites either, so I got a bunch of those saved up. So hopefully I could enter quickly. But let me.
Well, one tidbit on that. There is a single character that I think it makes perfect sense to take to gear tier 14.
Ultron? Minerva?
No. Shield Trooper.
Explain.
Shield Trooper does not require any mini uniques at all.
Oh. Well, there you go. So, I might take him up to gear 13 just for that. Or at least bring him to 12 just for that. I like that. Those mini uniques are rough. They're rough to come by. They are very rough to come by.
If you're just concerned with like getting in as quickly as possible, he's one of the quickest ones you can get to gear tier 14. So
I use him on my shield team in Blitz, so not the worst character.
Oh, that's the other thing is he's actually really good. Like he's one of the most overlooked characters, I think. Like on the right team, I have a wonderful war defense team. I don't think I use it as much anymore because I think the Marauders broke it up a little. I have to check. I know my Minerva Kree team broke it up a little bit, but I had him on a team that was like 4 tanky characters that stall things out, and he was like the lowest priority target on that team. And it used to get like 2 and 3 war defense wins every war because everyone was
kept countering.
Oh yeah, for like 5 minutes straight until he just melted everyone.
Man.
So I like him.
ISO 8 is gonna be overhauled from what we saw on the test server. So before we even get to your reaction on this, can you explain what ISO 8 is? Because there was a lot of comments in the last video I did about ISO 8 and some predictions for that.
Yep, so ISO 8 is basically mods. If you played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, it's basically mods, however, with a couple key differences. One of the big ones is you hear a lot of people telling horror stories about how mods ruined Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and were the worst thing that ever happened in that game and yada yada. But the main reason for that was that they introduced speed mods. And as you can imagine, in a turn-based game like this, speed is easily like the most important stat. So speed just became king in 99.9% of instances. So no other stats really mattered. It was just about getting the highest speed on all your characters, and that just became like the new way to have the best team. So it was not a lot of fun. It was just, you know,
and it could boost other stats as well, damage, offense, defense, armor, things like that. But yeah, the speed was what made it bad in that game.
So that said, there are a lot of cool things about being able to uniquely equip stats to characters. So let me finish by saying that as well. First off, the devs for Marvel Strike Force have said they will not be doing speed as a stat. They understand that was a terrible thing in Galaxy of Heroes. Yeah. They're not doing it. You don't have to worry.
Thank you.
That's a good thing.
Hallelujah.
That's a good thing. And then, so that said, what mods or ISO 8 are, to kind of understand it, is imagine like a separate gear set for your character, kind of like the normal gear set, but with the normal gear set, you can only put one item in that spot. So like my Doctor Strange can only have a big health item in the bottom right, and your Doctor Strange can only have a big health item in the bottom right. That's just currently how items and gear work in Marvel Strike Force. But in the ISO 8 separate inventory, you would be able to put whatever stats you wanted. So I could put focus and damage in my Doctor Strange, but you could put health and armor in your Doctor Strange, or crit chance, or various other stats. And then not only that, but there's certain types. You could get like a set bonus. So it could be like if you put 3 health pieces in your Doctor Strange, you can get a flat bonus, 5-10% max health or whatever. I'm just making up numbers here.
Yeah.
That's the concept. So you can get set bonuses, and there's some interesting ones. In the data mines, they've come up with some pretty creative set bonuses and stuff like that. So yeah, it's basically being able to selectively strengthen your characters based on certain stats that you want to give them. And I think it's one of the best things for the game. I think being able to
possibly, if it's done right, it can be one of the best things for the game. If it's done wrong, oh my goodness, could be a huge time sink in managing all the inventory of this. But I think the big thing from the video was that the iteration that was on the test server that a lot of people got to experience has been changed, and it took a lot of the feedback. I didn't get on that test server too much, but I know a lot of feedback was that it just wasn't fun in its old state. What do you remember of that test server and the trial version of ISO 8? And I don't know if you could even talk about it, but just overall impressions, I guess.
So we've already disclosed, and we're allowed to say, me and you saw an early version of ISO 8 before that playtest ever happened.
Yes.
And the version of ISO 8 that we saw was different than the version that was in the playtest. Not like dramatically different, but some of the set bonuses and stuff that we saw were not as fun and interesting, and it didn't have as much potential for like, oh, I really want to see what kind of cool combos I can come up with. That was lacking from the ISO 8 playtest. So the playtest was mainly a lot of like health, damage, armor, and then I think they had like an attacker rating and a defense rating or something, but it was a lot more boring.
Yeah.
So
just straight up mods from Swagga.
Yes, and so we've seen in the data mine there's some really interesting set bonuses and some really interesting stuff that they have considered, and if they bring in more of that interesting stuff, I think it could be very fun and exciting. I'm not sure why they left out all the fun stuff from the playtest. Like, it's very
maybe they left it vanilla because it was a test server. I don't know. Well, what do you think of some of the changes that they were talking about? I know one of the big things was just kind of revamping the whole system, removing some of the RNG. What do you think is some of the changes that they were talking about to this whole ISO 8 system?
Well, they said they removed the RNG, and I'm always in favor of removing the RNG. Like,
yes,
from everything, right? Like, I understand why RNG is in some places, and I accept that it's part of this game, but I'm never in favor of the RNG. Never, ever, ever.
Red Stars suck.
Yes, they do. But like, you can have RNG and a progression system, and a perfect example is like if the Red Star Elite store was more affordable. And what I mean by that is like if you actually could save up and promote anyone you wanted to any amount of red stars, it's okay to also have something that gives them to you at random, so you still could get lucky and get a 7 red star. As long as you also, if you're determined to get someone a 7 red star, you can march towards that and eventually accomplish it and not be purely at the mercy of RNG.
Oh, you mean better than opening millions of red star orbs and not getting one?
Correct.
So something better than that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like what that dude Khasino's been going through.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't opened one 7-star.
I know, what a sucker, dude. Even ValleyFlyin got one.
Jeez, that guy.
I heard that Khasino stole Valley's video idea because he was so mad that Valley got a 7 red star first.
I've seen that somewhere before. I don't know where I saw that, but I saw that written somewhere.
Crazy. That's why I don't watch that guy.
Drama in the house, guys. All right. I guess let's move on. All right, exciting stuff. They talked about a new game mode coming to the game sometime and sound very exciting. And the community seems very excited about it as well. What do you think this could possibly be?
So I've heard a few ideas, and actually I was talking about that earlier. One of my officers was like, "What do you think it is?" And he agrees with you and OMG. He thinks it's probably like a 1v1.
I don't know if that's what I think it is, but that's what I'm hoping it is. That's what I think would be the most beneficial for the community and the game, and just increasing the fun factor. So I'm really hoping for a 1v1 war. That's
not a bad one, and yeah, 1v1 war would certainly be fun. So I think there's a high likelihood that that's what it is, but I think it's equally likely it could be a few other things. So just a few more ideas.
Let's hear some others. Let's hear some others.
First one is like a beat the boss mode. Okay. And what I mean by that is like, imagine if you will, like you're facing Dormammu. And so you can go in every day and chip away at this Dormammu, and you have till, the end of the week to kill Dormammu. So it's like a solo raid. It's just you. And you can kind of like Dark Dimension, like you do it once each day, you have a week. But, Dormammu has like, like soul tentacles or whatever, some dark energy tentacles. And you have to take those out first. And each one is giving buffs to the others. And when you finally take all those out, then you can actually attack, Dormammu.
Or like a raid in Swaga.
Yeah, like a one-man big singular boss raid.
Yes.
You could fight characters like Galactus or Nihilus or whatever, just big crazy character. Ego, the Living Planet.
All right, that would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Fin Fang Foom, I don't know. So that's one option. A horde mode. Could have a horde mode.
What would that be?
Just keep spawning like a full wave. But they keep getting harder. It's like 10 level 1 Gregs is stage 1, 10 level 5 Gregs is stage 2, 10 level 10 Gregs is stage 3, and eventually it would get to a point where it's like,
and you just see how many enemies you could kill. It just keeps. It's like an endless horde or something.
Yep. And when you wipe, it's over for the day, and you load in tomorrow, and hopefully you have slightly better RNG and whatever. But yeah, you just keep killing them, and kind of like how in war you get like war currency for literally each individual character you kill.
Yeah.
This could have things where it's like you killed 47 Gregs, so you get this currency for the 47 you killed.
All right, I wouldn't mind that.
Because you made it to like the third full wave, here's like your stage rewards for getting that far, whatever it is.
Reminds me kind of like the I think it was called Shadowlands in Future Fight, something like that.
They've got a bunch of them, but yeah, it's just a horde mode, zombie mode, where it's like you never win, but how far can you get?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I gotta say, selfishly, as a content creator, someone that would want to stream more, I think that 1v1 war sounds the most appealing, because I don't know how streamable all that other stuff is. As cool as it would be for someone playing the game, I gotta put my 2 cents in there.
I mean, I think it'd be streamable. Like a horde mode, that'd be a lot of fun.
Horde mode maybe, but the cool boss, it would be kind of cool to chase a goal for like multiple days. But as something to stream, I don't know if that's necessarily too streamable. But maybe I don't know. New game mode is always good though. New is always good. More content is always better. I'm not gonna complain if it's something else.
Oh yeah, one other thing, and I actually don't think this is what they went with, but if you remember, we were allowed to talk about this, and this is just like an idea they had a while back. If you remember, they mentioned that they wanted to do 2-person raids. So I have no idea if this is.
I actually don't remember that. Was that from the trip?
So, yeah. Okay. Remember, they were talking about catch-up mechanics. and they said that they wanted a catch-up game mode where you could partner up with a friend who's like a totally different level and power than you, and do the 2-man raid, and it would have a path for the newer person and a path for the stronger person, and they would do it together, and if they both did their part, they'd both get really good rewards at the end that would help the newer player catch up. Because they're saying, like, currently there's not, if you have a friend start playing, there's no real way.
I do
for
remember
you to,
that.
hey,
I do
let me
remember
help
that
you
now.
out.
Now that you mentioned that in that context, I do remember that.
So it could be like a 2-person raid like that, or just some other like mentor game mode, or maybe a game mode where, like, you know, someone can borrow one of your characters for their squad, and then, you know, borrowing someone's character, like, see how far you can get and earn good rewards for themselves.
I do like catch-up mechanics. That doesn't sound that bad. That doesn't sound that bad. I do like
So I like it too.
allowing newer players to come in and help them out and be able to play with one of your friends.
Yep, and then the one I hope it is the most, but that it doesn't make any sense for it to be, because it wouldn't be an exciting new mode, but I want a practice mode. Give me a dual mode. It's not going to be that, because they wouldn't be like, brand new game mode, practice.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it would be that hyped, right?
No, it wouldn't, but God, give me a practice mode.
All right, well, another interesting thing that they mentioned is changes to Blitz coming, and the very next character Blitz we got after that had a forward timer for Quake. So what do you think this means? Do you think this is a test and to see what is going on with this Blitz, or is this some of the Blitz quality of life changes that they were referring to in this video?
So I don't remember them saying, I feel like Blitz changes is something they throw out. Like, they just always kind of say changes to Blitz. Like, they, you know, we've been hearing about changes to Blitz since day one, and it's not like they never make changes to Blitz. So I think that, like, Blitz is the dominant game mode of the game in terms of, like, what people are doing the most, what people are talking about the most. The reason I have so much content all about Blitz is because at the end of the day, Blitz is what we're spending the most time doing.
Yeah,
so
and I think they did mention
always
reducing some of the time for Blitz. No specifics on what they're doing, but I do remember something about reducing the time mentioned in that video.
Yes, and so I think they're always looking for opportunities to make Blitz more fun. The change I want to see is making it so all mode-specific traits are active in Blitz. I think, you know, I really hope it's that.
I hope it's that as well.
That'd be great.
Jeez, so many wasted characters.
But I see here this, like, kind of gets into the next topic, but I'm just going to go ahead and merge them. Your question of, like, you know, are they testing things with the 4-hour timer?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be what they're doing, right? It's not like there's any other justifiable reason to do this, and they even put in the wording of the in-game mail, like, something along the lines of, like, for this Blitz, a 4-hour timer.
Yes.
Which is like, don't
I
freak
do
out
remember
if you
the
hate
wording
this.
of that, but I gotta hope that this is the compromise that a lot of people have been asking for. Not the 2 hours, not the 6 hours, but have a meeting in the middle, the 6-hour timers for Blitz. Or the 4-hour timers, excuse me, for Blitz. It's kind of the compromise.
Yep.
I'm hoping that is something permanent, or they like the results of whatever test they're doing and it becomes permanent.
Yep. I like it. It doesn't, like, it's not been a huge thing for me, but especially when it comes to Blitz, like, I want whatever changes they make to Blitz, I just care that the community is very happy with them. Like, I don't have a strong, you know, this is how long the timer needs for me to enjoy Blitz.
Yeah.
Like, I hope the timer is whatever the most people are happy with.
I mean, as a streamer, I bet you would like 1 hour cooldowns, right?
Right, like, I can play Blitz all day, but like, it's not, I understand that doesn't work for everyone. So while it would work for me, this is not something I want balanced around what works for me. So if everyone else is a lot happier with the 4-hour timer, then that's what they should do.
Yeah. I think I've seen nothing but positive reception to this.
I've seen a lot of complaints about it, which is crazy. Now, this is one of those things where, firstly, some people are angry about any change. As soon as something changes, there's people like, why is it different? I like the way it was.
Oh, I haven't seen these. What are some of these other responses? What are some of the negatives about this?
Oh, just a lot of, and it's not even necessarily accurate. You know, just a lot of people like perceiving things completely incorrectly. So like some people like, oh, great, now the free-to-play players stand no chance against the paying players, which that's not even kind of true. But I've seen several people be under the impression that it is for no reason. just like, oh, great. Now, players whose only advantage was being able to put in their time can't compete and whatever. And 4 hours doesn't even fix the issues I had with it. It just makes it more inconvenient. This doesn't work for my schedule. I was able to keep doing the 2-hour refreshes in the first half of the day while being busy the whole second half of the day. Now I can only do half as many refreshes because I'm still busy completely for second half of the day or whatever it is. So I've seen some complaints. Again, my guess would be most people like this.
Okay. I'll say most now. Then now that I've heard of some of the counter responses, but yes.
My guess would be most people like this, but it's hard to tell. And I'm curious, like, what metric are they looking for to determine whether or not people enjoy this? Because
money. How much spending is done during these blitzes? It has to be. That's what they're always looking for.
Well, again, I think this in particular, they're trying to, like, people are going to spend on Blitz just to hit high points for a new character. Like, Blitz makes some money. This, I think they're looking for, like, where are people going to be happier? I think that's what they're exploring with this. But, like, I did see a few threads that were like, hey, this is wonderful. Thank you so much for listening, FoxNext. Please make this permanent. I also saw a handful of threads when they dropped it down to 2 hour. While there were a bunch of people complaining about that, there were a few people who were like, hey, thank you so much for dropping it down to 2 hour. Now I can play all day.
Oh, you guys are crazy. You and Khasino are crazy.
I mean, there's some things that work for everybody. But so my guess is most people are happy with this. But I've been keeping an eye on it, and I think I've seen more support than opposition. But, I'm just going off like what Reddit says is not a good indication.
Yeah, that's a tough gauge to see what is really going on.
Yeah,
in the community.
So my guess is just like, maybe they're looking at player, like how often players log in, or if it's motivating people to actually push higher now that they feel like they can do all of the possible, rotations or whatever it is. So yeah, I don't know.
I was like, gamma raids. They have returned. Any excitement? Does this bring you any excitement on that day of the week when we were switching over Greek raids? Now it seems like a common occurrence. I remember at one point it was like, are these Greek raids going to come back? When are they going to come back? And now it's every Monday on our routine. Yeah,
it's super, super. What's the word I'm looking for? Not like habitual, but yeah, it's very regimented. Very regimented. It's run of the mill standard. So. Of all the ones, I think Gamma is probably my favorite just because it's the easiest. So whenever Gamma is around, I'm like, cool. Like, I can auto fight like 85% of this raid already.
You gotta love that.
I might be able to auto fight all of it. I haven't even tried, but
I've been having to do a lot of the raids on auto just because time reasons, and luckily I haven't blown up too many of my teams too bad. So just it's. Auto is the way to go. Let's talk about this Scopely buying FoxNext. We talked about our response to it, but now we got an official response on Reddit by Cerebro earlier today. I'm not going to go over this word for word, but basically kind of saying what we think. We think the production schedule for Marvel Strike Force will remain the same. We're focused on some really cool content in early 2020 and beyond. Does this official response change anything? Any thoughts you've had last week about this sale, or anything that you've learned this week? Any responses to this sale?
No, none whatsoever. Brace yourselves, people who are used to me praising FoxNext, because again, I try to be objective. Actually, believe it or not, and I try to call them out when I feel like they're saying or doing things that are not up to snuff. And I found this message to be incredibly vacuous. Like, there's no substance to it. That said, I did not expect anything different, and I would be shocked, like absolutely shocked, if we got anything but a message like this. But this message tells me absolutely nothing. They've basically said like, oh, they agree with how we run things, and we're gonna keep doing what we've been doing, and that's how it's gonna be going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna read this whole thing, but I was like, this doesn't say too much, so.
But there's two, it doesn't really say anything. There's two big things that I want to point out. The first is like, did people think that their response was going to be like, oh, brace yourselves, lots of things are about to change. We're going to
prices are going up, guys.
Yep, get ready. Everything's going to cost a lot more. We're going to really slow down on the QA and have lots more bugs, whatever it is. We're gonna have our community managers stop responding to you, like whatever. Any of the negative changes that people are afraid of for, in my opinion, no good reason right now. Why would they
right
say
now being
that?
the operative word of that sentence?
Yeah, I guess. Again, here's the
Sorry.
Well, here's the no, it's fine. The other point I want to make is I don't think they know yet, right? Like that's one of those things where like when the sale is happening, Scopely is probably like, no, we're just gonna collect checks. You guys do you. You know, you're doing a great job. We're really only gonna step in if we ever feel we absolutely have to. But for the most part, you know, you guys doing great. You guys keep doing your thing. And that's the kind of thing where like they might be under the impression until the sale's made, and then
Ba-bam!
Yeah, we're just saying technically our name is the one that shows up.
Now we are the owners and you must listen to us.
Since we have to sign off on it, we would feel more comfortable with you guys doing it this way. I don't want to say that you have to. We're just saying that there's a lot of things that you guys want to do and we can only sign off on so many of them, so maybe do this our way or whatever it is, you know. So I don't know, but you know, if Scopely wants to step in and make changes, I don't like Scopely probably hasn't even sat down and looked at how the game goes yet, right? Like the first thing they're gonna, it's not like Scopely's like, oh, we've had an entire division of our developers who've been watching your game from the shadows. They've been closely studying you for 6 months, and here's the list of things we're ready to change. No, they're gonna be like, all right, when it gets here, we'll take a look at it.
That's not
we'll
how it
see.
works in business. They don't do that before they buy a company.
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
Probably not. Nope. They're probably like, how's the money? Money's good. Has the money been good? All right. Any reason to think the money won't continue being good? No. All right. Well, yeah. Go ahead and pack up your money printing machine and bring it over to our office. That's perfect.
Sweet.
Set it right there next to the other money printing machines we have. And so yeah. So probably, you know, they're only once, you know, everything's actually started moving over, then they might sit down and be like, all right, so explain to me this part here. I'm seeing that you guys are making about this much money. You think we can make this much money? Let's try something. So we'll see. And that I'm just saying that because it seems like everyone's biggest fear is that Scopely is gonna really just wring people for every last penny they have. They're worried like Scopely is just gonna milk the whales far more ruthlessly than FoxNext does. I mean, what do you think? Before I go into this tangent, do you think that there's a good chance that happens?
I don't know. Maybe sometime down the road they might increase some offers. I don't expect anything big right away. I think if things start changing, I think it'll be a gradual trickle. There'll be signs that you know, things are going south very, very much in advance. So I'm not worried at this point. I don't see anything bad happening right now. So I'm not worried.
Yep, I'm not that worried either, and it's like, you know, do I think Scopely is gonna try to get even more money out of this game?
Oh yeah,
probably.
Oh yeah,
probably. But the thing is, like, FoxNext already does that, right? Like FoxNext thing this whole time has been like, hey, how can we get a little bit more money out of this game? And so the main fear everyone has, like, oh, it's gonna be like their other games. You'll see, instead of a new character costing $50, a new character is gonna cost $500.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that Scopely understands like what an established value for something is. And I don't know about you guys, but if Scopely just came in and was like, this new character is now $500, like, well, I'm not getting that one. That's it. I'm just not buying that one. So instead of getting $50 from me, you get $0 from me. Pleasure doing business with you. So the idea that they're going to come in and like wring people out of so much more money, like Fox is already trying to do that. So the idea that Scopely will come in and do it 5 times more effectively, I doubt. Like, there's not that much room.
Here's my thing. Will they do that? I don't know. Maybe not. But you don't have to buy the offers. And if the game sucks because you don't buy the offers, then there's other games. And if the game is still fun, if you don't buy offers, then that's fine. But they might not even do that. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about any of it right now. If the game's not fun, then that's fine too. I'll play another game. I mean, I'm not worried, guys. Well, time will only tell, right, guys? We will have to see. I don't think there'll be too many big things, but something that happened just recently before we started recording, Mr. Sinister got moved to orbs. It seems like they're moving along these characters a lot quicker. I'm still wondering what is going on with the supernatural team, but does this make you even more hopeful? It seems like every time we talk, every time we do one of these news videos, another character is getting added to the orbs.
Yeah, it's good. They're moving in the right direction. I still think they're way behind on certain
Oh,
characters.
very behind. But you know, they're adding them, so they're doing something. They're not doing nothing. So.
Yep, they are. But again, the trend I've seen lately is growing discontent in the community and an increased willingness by FoxNext to try to be considerate of the players. And it's a delicate dance. Like if you're new to the mobile game scene, this is the way it goes, right? The devs just focus on making as much money as possible, and when they start bleeding players, they slow down on that, and they're like, well, we're not making any money if we lose all our players, so let's stop while we're bleeding players. Let's instead address making the players happy. Then they make a bunch of changes that make the players happy, and then they're like, all right, good, players are coming back, player numbers are on the rise, looks like we're good. Now let's go back to trying to get as much money as we can out of these players. And then they do that, and then when they start hemorrhaging players again, then they go, all right, pump the brakes. We're making people mad. Let's make people happy again. Then we can go back to
just an endless cycle of peaks and valleys with happiness and discontent in the game. It
is the endless waltz that, and it's not like this is something just FoxNext. This is every mobile game I've ever seen.
All right, so it is a time that I think most of us, including myself, have been waiting for, trying to get as much information out from you, Khasino, about some of these rumored characters that you have been hearing about. And we've been kind of teasing them over the past weeks. The first week was that these are some villain characters that you've been hearing about. Last week, talked about some characters adding to an existing team. What do you have for us this week that you could tell us about some of these rumors that you're hearing?
So as of right now, it's a little bit tough because from several different sources, if you put them all together, again, most of the sources seem to have like most of the story, and when a lot of it overlaps, I tend to assume that the meat of it is true. But so at this point, I've heard of 9 upcoming characters. Now that's not to say like next patch 9 characters coming. As I understand it, it's like 9 characters being considered over the next couple of patches.
Okay.
And any of these characters could be pushed back another patch or two, or just axed altogether, because there's plenty of times where we're hearing about a character coming and then they get tabled for who knows how long.
Those multiple characters that we were talked about in beta that still are not in the game. So
right. And so like a perfect example is like I genuinely heard rumors during the patch where they were like working on the X-Men. I was told like Cyclops is on the team, and they were working on him then, and like he did appear in the splash art. So they were at that point under the impression that Cyclops is coming, and then
he was in the game for an hour or two.
Right.
Really.
And so for like the next like 5 patches, it was like, well, Cyclops is coming up next patch, and Cyclops, like at one point or another, they did keep intending to put him in the next patch and the next patch. So it's not like they weren't lying or wrong. Like at that moment, they're like, yeah, probably Cyclops next patch, and then it got changed. So of these 9 names, I'm hesitant to say too much because none of these sources have told me like this is next patch. It's these characters. So I don't know exactly when, and I don't know if anyone will get axed. But I will say that of the 9 names I've heard, 7 of them are villains, and of the 2 of them that are heroes, I'll give a little tease on the heroes.
Ooh.
One of the heroes is a name we've seen floating around, popping up from time to time. But more interestingly, one of the heroes is not a name that we've ever seen pop up in anything, not in a data mine or anything, and would be a member of an existing
another one.
team in the game. So.
Is this the same existing team from last week or a different existing team?
No. So last week I was saying that a lot of the rumored villains.
Oh, okay. I get you now.
Teams.
All right. So the hero is going to an existing team as well. Interesting.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much every character that I've heard rumor of, I believe, I'd have to double check, but I think every character that I've heard of, all 9 of them, are going to fit on an existing team in the game. So still trying to iron out exactly which characters are coming next patch and which are coming, patch after that or whatever. But I'm saying as much as I can. I promise my heart is in the right place.
All right, get your brains going, guys. Leave your comments and your guesses down below to just clear up anything for you. I think this made me more confused than anything else, but I think I do know one of the characters you're talking about from the data mines. But yeah, there's several characters from data mines we've been talking about. So leave your guesses down in the comments, guys. I know some of this stuff is pretty vague, but you could say I knew this stuff before anybody else did if you leave it in the comments right now. Khasino, thank you for joining me once again, brother. We are so consistent with this news thing. Nothing stops at vacation, sickness, and I don't know. Hopefully nothing weird like a power outage or something happens next week. Knock on wood. Tell everybody where they can find you.
I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Khasino. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Khasino. And I have a Discord server, discord.gg/Khasino. So come hang out.
Nice. So yes, a lot of stuff going on there, and make sure you guys check out the links to check out some of his stuff in the description, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, we do this every week. The weekly news video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's other videos that go up on this channel. I have another channel, and there, of course, there is the podcast. And if you are listening on the podcast, make sure you give this a good rating as on iTunes or Google Play or wherever you have found this podcast. And yes, there are some links down below on the YouTube channel that supports the channel. There's some Valley merch. Make sure you guys check out the link to LootCakes. That promotion is only going on for a few more days, and of course BlueStacks if you want to play any game on any Android game on your PC, including Marvel Strike Force. That link does support the channel as well. I will see you guys next time. Check me out on social media. Hulk fist bump, baby. ValleyFlyin out.